Profound intellectual disability represents the most severe level of cognitive impairment, affecting all areas of functioning, including communication, mobility, learning, and self-care. Individuals in this range typically show extremely limited intentional speech, often relying entirely on nonverbal communication such as eye contact, body movement, vocal sounds, or responses to sensory stimulation. Understanding of language is minimal and usually restricted to recognizing familiar voices, simple cues, or routine-based signals. Learning focuses on basic associative responses, such as reacting to certain sounds, following a simple action with assistance, or participating in sensory-based activities. Academic skills do not develop, and conceptual thinking is absent. Most individuals have significant motor impairments, neurological conditions, or medical complications requiring constant monitoring. Self-care tasks, including feeding, dressing, toileting, and hygiene, must be performed entirely by caregivers, as independent action is extremely limited. Adaptive behavior depends on highly structured environments with continuous support, predictable routines, and controlled sensory input. Social interaction is based on emotional expression rather than language, and individuals may respond positively to comforting voices, touch, or familiar presence. Full-time care in specialized settings is essential to maintain safety and stability. Severe intellectual disability involves major limitations across communication, learning, adaptive behavior, and overall independence. Individuals in this range usually develop very limited verbal language, often relying on single words, short phrases, or nonverbal communication such as gestures, sounds, and facial expressions. Understanding of spoken instructions is restricted to simple, familiar commands delivered with clear visual or physical cues. Academic abilities are extremely limited. Reading and writing skills typically do not develop, and numerical understanding is confined to basic recognition of small quantities or shapes. Learning occurs only through highly repetitive, structured teaching with constant reinforcement. Daily living skills such as dressing, feeding, or personal hygiene may be partially learned over long periods, but require consistent supervision to ensure safety and completion. Motor delays or physical disabilities may also be present, further reducing independence. Individuals depend heavily on caregivers for medical needs, routine organization, and protection from hazards, as judgment and problem-solving skills are minimal. Social interaction occurs mainly through emotional responses rather than complex communication. Predictable environments, sensory support, and stable routines are essential for effective functioning. Moderate intellectual disability produces clear limitations in conceptual development, language ability, and independent daily functioning. Individuals in this range typically acquire basic communication skills but use short sentences, limited vocabulary, and concrete language. They understand simple instructions, but tasks must be broken into clear, repetitive steps to ensure retention. Academic learning is minimal. Reading is usually restricted to recognizing familiar words or symbols, and mathematical skills often do not progress beyond counting small numbers or identifying basic quantities. Abstract thinking is extremely limited, making it difficult to understand time concepts, multi-step problem solving, or cause and effect relationships. Daily living skills can be learned gradually, such as dressing, feeding, and simple household tasks, but most activities require supervision to ensure safety and consistency. Adaptive functioning is strongest in environments with predictable routines and stable support. Individuals may participate in sheltered work programs that provide highly structured, repetitive tasks under continuous supervision. Social understanding is concrete, centered on familiar people, and dependent on consistent cues. Due to limited judgment and vulnerability to misunderstanding, they require ongoing guidance in unfamiliar or complex situations. The primary emphasis is developing practical skills through repetition and maintaining stable assisted environments. Mild intellectual disability involves significant limitations in learning speed, reasoning ability, and conceptual understanding, but individuals in this range can still acquire many practical and daily life skills with structured support. Cognitive development progresses more slowly than typical, and academic achievement usually reaches the early elementary level even after extensive instruction. Reading is often limited to basic words and simple sentences, while mathematical ability typically includes counting, simple addition, and recognition of quantities. Abstract reasoning is weak, making concepts like time, probability, or multi-step planning difficult to grasp. Working memory limitations reduce the ability to follow complex instructions unless they are broken into small, concrete steps. Social understanding is functional but literal. Individuals interpret language directly and may miss sarcasm, implied meaning, or subtle emotional signals. Daily living tasks such as personal hygiene, cooking simple meals, and household chores can be learned through repetition and visual demonstration. Employment is possible in structured environments with supervised routine tasks. They need support for managing finances, healthcare decisions, and unfamiliar situations. The core limitation is reduced conceptual thinking, but with stable routines and consistent guidance, individuals can function effectively in predictable settings. Borderline intellectual functioning describes individuals whose cognitive abilities fall just above the threshold for intellectual disability, but clearly below the general population's learning and reasoning capacity. People in this range process information slowly and often struggle to retain details without repeated exposure. Complex instructions, abstract ideas, and tasks requiring mental flexibility are difficult because working memory and executive functioning are limited. Academic performance typically shows consistent challenges in reading comprehension, mathematical reasoning, and subjects requiring conceptual understanding rather than memorization. They can learn practical skills, but training must be direct, repetitive, and structured. Daily living abilities are mostly independent, yet they may struggle with time management, planning, budgeting, and adapting to changes. Decision-making is often concrete, focusing on immediate outcomes rather than long-term consequences. Social interactions are generally functional, but understanding nuanced communication, hidden motives, or conflict dynamics can be challenging. Employment success is strongest in predictable, routine-based environments with clear expectations and consistent supervision. While not meeting criteria for intellectual disability, individuals in this range require additional support in situations involving problem-solving, complex reasoning, or rapid adaptation. Below-average intelligence represents a cognitive range where learning, reasoning, and problem-solving occur at a slower pace than in the general population. Individuals in this range typically understand basic concepts, but require more repetition, direct instruction, and structured practice to retain information. Abstract thinking, such as interpreting figurative language, predicting outcomes, or understanding symbolic relationships, is noticeably weaker, so they rely heavily on concrete, practical examples. Working memory is limited, making multi-step instructions difficult unless broken into smaller segments. Academic performance is commonly below grade level, especially in reading comprehension, math reasoning, and tasks requiring sustained attention. Everyday functioning is generally independent, but unexpected changes, unfamiliar environments, or complex tasks can create difficulty because flexible thinking is limited. Decision-making tends to be simple and based on immediate, easily visible information rather than long-term consequences. Social understanding is present, but interpreting subtle cues, sarcasm, or complex intentions may require guidance. Individuals can succeed with predictable routines, stable environments, and hands-on learning. The primary limitation is reduced cognitive efficiency, not the inability to learn. Average intelligence represents the central range of human cognitive functioning, where individuals learn, reason, and solve problems at a typical pace. People in this range handle abstract ideas, symbolic information, and multi-step reasoning with normal efficiency. They can analyze situations, draw logical conclusions, and adapt their thinking when presented with new information. Working memory, attention, and processing speed support common academic tasks such as reading comprehension, mathematics, vocabulary development, and written communication. They can follow complex instructions, organize tasks, and plan short-term goals. Social cognition is fully developed, allowing accurate interpretation of tone, body language, sarcasm, and interpersonal dynamics. Decision-making relies on both logic and experience, and individuals can evaluate alternatives, anticipate consequences, and adjust their behavior accordingly. Academically, performance varies depending on environment, motivation, and study habits, but the capacity for mastering standard school curricula is present. In daily life, they can manage finances, household responsibilities, and employment tasks independently. This level of intelligence supports successful functioning across most environments, providing sufficient cognitive flexibility to navigate routine challenges, solve practical problems, and respond appropriately to unexpected situations. Above average intelligence indicates a cognitive range where individuals consistently outperform typical expectations in reasoning, learning speed, and problem solving. People at this level understand abstract ideas with minimal explanation and can integrate new information into existing knowledge structures efficiently. Their working memory allows manipulation of several concepts at once, making them effective at analyzing patterns, evaluating relationships between variables, and understanding multi-step logic. Academic performance is typically strong across subjects, with particular strengths in analytical disciplines such as mathematics, science, and technical language tasks. They learn new skills quickly, require fewer repetitions, and can generalize knowledge from one situation to another with ease. In daily life, they plan effectively, make well-reasoned decisions, and adjust strategies when encountering unexpected conditions. Communication abilities include interpreting subtle cues, sarcasm, metaphor, and complex interpersonal dynamics. Professional environments benefit from their ability to handle tasks involving analysis, coordination, and continuous learning. Although not yet in the gifted range, above-average intelligence provides a clear and consistent cognitive advantage that supports strong academic potential, effective problem-solving, and high adaptability in both structured and unpredictable situations. Superior intelligence reflects a level of cognitive functioning significantly above the general population, characterized by rapid learning, advanced reasoning, and strong analytical capability. Individuals in this range interpret complex concepts with minimal explanation and can identify patterns, structures, and relationships that others may overlook. Their working memory is highly efficient, allowing them to hold multiple ideas at once, evaluate them, and manipulate them without losing accuracy. Academic performance is consistently high, often placing them in advanced or accelerated coursework, especially in analytical subjects such as mathematics, logic-based sciences, and abstract language studies. They approach problem-solving systematically, breaking down tasks into organized steps and anticipating outcomes before taking action. In daily life, they adapt quickly to new situations, plan long-term goals effectively, and manage responsibilities with minimal oversight. Social understanding is typically strong, enabling them to interpret subtle communication cues and participate in complex discussions. Professionally, they excel in roles requiring strategic thinking, detailed analysis, and continuous learning. Superior intelligence is not equivalent to giftedness, but it provides a reliable foundation for high academic and professional achievement due to its combination of efficiency, depth, and consistency. Very superior intelligence represents a high level of cognitive functioning marked by advanced reasoning, deep comprehension, and exceptional learning speed. Individuals in this range understand abstract and symbolic concepts with little explanation and can analyze complex information by identifying underlying principles that may not be obvious to others. Their working memory capacity allows them to manage multiple interconnected ideas simultaneously, supporting strong performance in advanced mathematics, theoretical sciences, and high-level language tasks. They excel at evaluating problems from multiple perspectives, predicting outcomes, and constructing logical solutions based on structured analysis. Academic achievement is typically exceptional, often leading to placement in gifted programs, honors courses, or specialized educational tracks. In daily life, they demonstrate efficient planning, rapid adaptation to new environments, and strong decision-making based on long-term reasoning rather than immediate reactions. Social cognition is well developed, though they may prefer conversations with intellectual depth, as typical exchanges may feel unchallenging. Professionally, individuals in this range succeed in fields requiring complex analysis, research, strategic thinking, or innovation. Very superior intelligence represents a clear cognitive elevation that supports mastery of difficult subjects and high-level problem solving. Highly gifted intelligence reflects an advanced level of cognitive functioning where individuals grasp complex concepts rapidly and often require minimal instruction to understand high-level material. Their reasoning ability allows them to identify patterns, structures, and relationships that others may miss, and they can integrate new information into existing frameworks with exceptional efficiency. Working memory is strong enough to manage multiple abstract ideas at once, enabling deep analysis and long-term retention of detailed information. Academic performance typically exceeds standard grade level expectations by several years, often requiring accelerated instruction or specialized educational programs to match their learning pace. These individuals demonstrate advanced problem-solving strategies, often creating original methods rather than relying solely on taught procedures. Their conceptual understanding supports high achievement in mathematics, theoretical sciences, and complex language analysis. In daily life, they evaluate situations through logical systems, anticipate multiple outcomes, and adapt strategies quickly. While social understanding is present, their communication may become highly analytical, which can create gaps in typical interactions. Professionally, they excel in fields requiring innovation, research depth, and advanced intellectual engagement. Highly gifted intelligence marks a significant divergence from typical developmental trajectories. Exceptionally gifted intelligence represents an advanced cognitive tier where individuals process information with remarkable speed, depth, and accuracy. Their ability to understand abstract, symbolic, and theoretical concepts often appears intuitive, requiring minimal explanation or repetition. Working memory capacity is exceptionally high, allowing them to manipulate multiple complex ideas simultaneously without losing coherence. They can identify underlying patterns within large or fragmented sets of information and often generate original insights rather than relying solely on learned methods. Academic development is significantly accelerated, frequently advancing years beyond typical curricular expectations. These individuals often require individualized instruction to match their learning rate and conceptual depth. Their problem-solving approach is characterized by systematic analysis, rapid hypothesis formation, and the ability to anticipate multiple long-term outcomes. In daily life, they display advanced planning, strong adaptability, and highly structured reasoning when making decisions. Social interactions may present challenges because their vocabulary, processing speed, and analytical communication style can differ significantly from peers. Professionally exceptionally gifted individuals excel in fields involving advanced mathematics, theoretical research, high-level design, or complex systems analysis. This level of intelligence often correlates with creativity and original contributions across academic or scientific domains. Profoundly gifted intelligence represents an extremely rare cognitive level where individuals demonstrate exceptional reasoning, abstraction, and conceptual integration far beyond typical gifted development. They process complex theoretical information rapidly and often form complete conceptual frameworks with minimal input. Working memory is extraordinarily strong, allowing them to handle multiple high-level ideas simultaneously, connect them across disciplines, and retain them with long-term stability. Their learning speed is extremely accelerated. They may master advanced academic material years or even decades earlier than average. Problem-solving abilities extend into original theory building, where they generate new methods, redefine existing structures, and identify relationships that others do not perceive. These individuals often operate with a deep understanding of systems, enabling them to evaluate interactions, predict outcomes, and reconstruct entire problem models independently. Academic environments typically cannot meet their learning needs without specialized or individualized instruction. Social functioning may show mismatches because their cognitive processing, language style, and interests differ significantly from peer norms. Professionally, they are suited to fields requiring advanced theoretical reasoning, high-level creativity, and independent inquiry. Profoundly gifted individuals frequently contribute new ideas or innovations that advance scientific, mathematical, or philosophical understanding. Near genius intelligence is an extremely rare cognitive level characterized by extraordinary reasoning ability, accelerated learning, and advanced conceptual processing. Individuals in this range understand complex theoretical material with minimal explanation and can reorganize information into new structures that reveal deeper relationships. Their working memory enables simultaneous handling of multiple abstract concepts while maintaining clarity and accuracy across all components. This supports exceptional performance in advanced mathematics, theoretical sciences, and abstract problem-solving tasks. Learning occurs rapidly and often independently, as they can infer missing steps, generate their own methods, and create novel solutions rather than relying on traditional instruction. Their analytical depth allows them to examine problems from numerous angles, anticipate long-term implications, and integrate cross-disciplinary knowledge into unified models. Academic environments rarely match their processing speed, requiring highly individualized or self-directed learning pathways. In daily life, they apply structured reasoning to decision-making, planning, and interpretation of complex situations. Social interactions may be affected by differences in vocabulary, thought speed, and conceptual depth compared to typical peers. Professionally, near-genius individuals excel in fields demanding innovation, theoretical modeling, or high-level research, often contributing original ideas that expand conventional understanding. Genius-level intelligence represents an extraordinarily rare cognitive range where individuals demonstrate unmatched reasoning, abstraction, and creative conceptualization. People at this level process information with exceptional depth, identifying patterns and underlying principles far beyond what typical cognitive models can describe. Their working memory capacity allows them to manipulate numerous complex ideas simultaneously while maintaining precision across all components. Learning occurs with minimal exposure as they can infer missing details, reconstruct theories, and develop entirely new frameworks independently. Their analytical abilities extend to forming original hypotheses, devising alternative systems of thought, and restructuring existing knowledge into more accurate or efficient models. Academic environments are typically insufficient, requiring complete customization or self-directed approaches to match their accelerated development. Decision-making is guided by long-range reasoning and multidimensional analysis, allowing them to evaluate outcomes across complex systems. Social experiences may differ from typical peers due to advanced vocabulary, rapid thought transitions, and deep interest in abstract or theoretical topics. Professionally, individuals in this range often contribute groundbreaking ideas in fields such as mathematics, physics, philosophy, or other domains requiring profound insight. Genius-level intelligence frequently leads to discoveries or innovations that reshape entire disciplines.